what we'll try and do. Does anyone know brand Vim? Raise of hands. Oh, thank you. Yeah. For the people who come from outside, it's globally the brand is Sunlight. In India and South Asia, the brand is Vim. It's one of the household brands, and what we hope to cover. It's a 30-year-old brand, and we hope to cover the entire journey because it's slightly interesting. And it's interesting because we've come on the topic of male masculinity and what's a household chore brand doing over here. We speak to the women, but we also speak to the women and inadvertently show the role of the man and how it's evolved over the period of time. And I hope that you take the same messaging of what we got, what learnings we got, and hence where are we right now in the journey. So who are we? We are the dishwash bar brand, liquids. We just launched Flow Clean. We started creating this category about 30 years ago. We launched in '93. Before that, people were using any other bar for doing their dishwashing chore. And of course, this is our entire gamut. Why is this brand so important in the households? Is because it's the only brand which has been interacted thrice in a day. Yeah, because think about all of us. While we interact with certain brands once, twice, sometimes only once a year, this is thrice in a day, day in, day out, because without this, we can't do the basic job of having cleanliness and then eating food on the plate. And hence, it's the most frequently chored and has historically been relegated to her. And while we now play through a series of what we've done since '93 to now, it's about speaking to her, but then also equally saying, what's the role of the man? And has it evolved? What's masculinity? Through the ages from '93 till right now where we stand in 2025 and how it's evolved for us. So if I go back in time, so if I see while we were focusing on her, we inevitably represented men too. And if I speak about decades of the 90s, when we launched, so we launched 92, 93, life was all about chores for the woman. It was only chores, 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 and nothing else. And as the brand Vim, what did we try and do? We said that we will make those chores easy. We'll make it easy so that then she can have a life. That's the entire essence of what we did. But then, what was the role of the man? Over here, we played to the stereotype. You know, at that time, 90s, when men went and earned, and hence we said men were providers, and what the brand did was only to ensure that the household chores became as simple as possible for the woman.
अभी बटा गया तो मीनू
वाह आज जल्दी
हाँ कैसा होगा तुम औरतों का राख पाउडर पाउडर राख खर 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 तुम्हारे हाथ भी देखो ना कितने सख्त हो गए हैं मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है बदलो अपनी आदतें बदलो कुछ करो देखो मैं तुम्हारे लिए क्या लाया हूँ पैसे ना अभी महीने भर का डिटर्जेंट तुम इस राख में मिलाती हो वो क्या मुफ्त में आता है तो क्या उतने पैसे में मीनू आज रात में मुझे जग्गू ने बुलाया
अच्छा?
प्रोग्राम है ना तो रात को ना जरा ज्यादा देर से लौटूंगा तो तुम्हारी माँ के यहाँ अगले महीने जाएंगे पक्का जाएंगे
राख से राहत उतने ही पैसों में.
Yeah, so sorry it's not subtitled, but hopefully you got through the visuals. Yeah, what the visuals was that the man is the provider and provider for the woman to make the chore easy. That was the, in essence, the one nutshell in terms of what was the role of the man at the time and how we portrayed or went with the stereotype of saying what's the role of the man in providing whatever it is in terms of household chores for the woman. So that was where we were in the 90s. And the 90s was this. Going forward to the 2000s, and this was one pivotal change when a lot of progress happened in the country. The woman was progressing, and hence life was about aspire more than chores, because the woman went from a striver to an aspirer, saying that I can do more than that of chores. Yeah, my life is not defined by the chores which I'm doing. and that's not the definition of what I am, but what I can do more. And hence, what was Wim's role was to enable her to do more. Yeah, household chores can happen, it'll keep happening, but then what is in it for you is to do more than whatever is household chores. And hence, if I were to say, what was the men's role in it, was to be the perfect guide. And this was the new age person who didn't shrink and say that what was the role of women was only to do household chores, but it was actually to guide in terms of the journey for her to do more, and actually be the beacon to ensure that she did more. And that's what we played in this series of ads at the time, where we showed a really progressive kind of masculinity at that time. Of course, over here, when I compare to what we are right now, this will be really regressive. But then that's what it was in terms of masculinity at that time, to be progressive.
One more.
खाना खाने आया हूँ, गाना गाने नहीं। खाना तैयार?
हाँ, खाना तैयार है, पर प्लेट्स।
धोने के बाद अगर सफेद परत रह गई है तो उसमें मेरी गलती।
अब गलती उस बार की है जिसमें है मिट्टी जैसे तत्व। लीजिए विम जेल जो पूरी तरह घुल जाए और सफेद परत ना छोड़े। विम जेल, पूरी सफाई बिना सफेद परत।
So notice everywhere on how it's only about guiding, only about and one more thing.
सुपर्ब केक भाभी, आपकी तो बेकरी होनी चाहिए थी। क्यों भैया?
हाँ
चल स्कूल नहीं जाना?
पता है, तुम्हें खुद की बेकरी शुरू करनी थी।
लेकिन इस घर के कामकाज से वक्त ही नहीं मिला खुद की पहचान बनाने का। बर्तन तो हो गए।
इतनी जल्दी?
मतलब अभी वक्त है खुद की पहचान बनाने का।
मम्मी की खुद की बेकरी।
विम चिकनाई हटाए तेजी से ताकि आप वक्त बचाए, पहचान बनाए।
So notice everywhere where it was only a person who was guiding, but still, if you see, the dishwashing chore was done by the woman. The male and the masculinity in this was progressing from being a person who was a provider to a person who is actually being on the journey to do more. And come 2000s, we went to beyond chores. And Sooraj, who heads innovation for home and hygiene, he'll take you through more. He's also known as Suzy, which is what we keep calling him for the last 10 years. But Suzy, over to you.
So, of course, during the 90s and the 2000s, we were very comfortable running these ads, right? Because at that point of time, that's what we believed were the progressive men. But then one big change happened. Much younger marketeers came into HUL. This was I won't say this is a decade, but this was a series of jumps that we took, which now I'm comfortable enough to say were missteps. We almost had FOMO, right? This was the phase when women, there is no relation between chores and women. Women have just moved out of it. Women are doing whatever they want. She's like a river, she's flowing. That's what we believed in fundamentally, right? What did that mean for us, right? We wanted to suddenly become her ally, solve all of the problems by going outside of her. I mean, why should she be the one doing all the chores, right? So we went really far, right? So we then said, no, why should women do it? Men should do it, right? And I'm sure some of you have seen this. This was this Wim Black campaign that we ran. This was, I think, 3-4 years ago. Where we had put out a launch. It was a fake launch. There was no product like this, but we just wanted to poke fun at men who do dishwashing once or twice, but then brag, right? Our idea was, of course, that we believed that this will get men into dishwashing, and I'll speak about it as we go.
वो थोड़ी थकान हो गई है। एक्चुअली ना कल रात सारे बर्तन मैंने ही धोए थे। मम्मी की हेल्प कर देता हूँ मैं कभी-कभी, और हेल्प तो करनी ही चाहिए।
वाह बेटा वाह, क्या ब्रैगिंग करी है। मजा आया ब्रैगिंग करके। ये है विम ब्लैक फॉर मेन। अब दिन रात सुबह शाम सारे बर्तन धो और खुलकर ब्रैगिंग का मजा लो। विम ब्लैक फॉर मेन, easy to clean, more to brag.
So I think as we did this, as we went into this campaign, one thing was really clear. We were expecting backlash, right? It's not like we didn't predict it. The backlash was a little more than we expected, of course, but that's good. Any PR is good PR. That's what we believed. But the one thing that the campaign did not do was get men into the kitchen, right? And I think that's where, in our understanding of masculinity and how it's moved through the ages, I think in the 90s we understood them well. We focused on the women. The men were happy that we were focusing on the women. That's fine. In the 2000s, they recognized that they need to start providing more avenues for women to progress, and worked very, very, very well for them. I think this was a step too far, and I think we. This is another ad. Please let this play, and I'll explain.
ये रोहन बर्तन धो रहा? आज मदर्स डे है क्या? वुमेन्स डे? इसकी मम्मी का बर्थडे?
नहीं,
तो फिर?
अपना इंडिपेंडेंस डे मना रहा है।
मतलब?
बर्तन धोना सिर्फ एक माँ का काम है, इस सोच से इंडिपेंडेंस। तू भी बन सकता है इंडिपेंडेंट। विम की 100 नींबुओं की शक्ति कड़ी से कड़ी चिकनाई निकाल देगी। आज से अपने बर्तन अपने आप।
So the underlying tonality in this is men are pretty useless, and you guys need to, we need to start doing dishes. So that's largely what we tried, and nothing, men didn't go into the kitchen, right? So then I think our understanding of, and that's actually the first time I would say as a brand so focused on on female, and over the history of the brand where this has been a chore that's been relegated only to women, the first time we actually thought about men. And genuinely, what are men right now, right? And then we realized that men are collaborators. They want to not be poked at. Their roles have changed. They are absolutely okay accepting equal roles at home. It's not like when I come back home, I don't do the dishes. So, and therefore we started moving more into realism, in showing authenticity. So that's the next phase where life, it's equal. Life is equal to equality, and therefore our job right now as we speak, this is what we now are doing, is make chores easy for all. And like I said, for the first time we've chosen to focus.
Masala curry pakoda. But it's odor. One wash won't be enough. So I'll wash it once. Then you wash it.
Okay, done. New Vim liquid with the power of tropical lemons. Removes even tough odors like garlic and onion in one wash.
Now your turn.
And the garlic and onion smell is gone.
You cheater.
Today's menu was a super hit.
But this chicken, fish, mutton, these 100 different odors, no chance they'll go.
You mean there's 100 different odors? One wash will be enough. New Vim Liquid. Its power of tropical lemons removes 100 different odors in one wash. How's it?
I think this is something that we're realizing as we're going, is something that consumers really love. Men love it, women love it. It's a more fair representation of what's actually happening at home. Of course, India is an amalgamation of multiple countries. So this possibly works in certain parts of the country. There are certain sections like UP rural, etc., where the acceptance of how much the man is doing is different. But I think we are at peace with it. We now know that in say a UP rural, the man has started to enter the kitchen, and that's a big thing. And in say a Chennai or in Mumbai, this is the reality, and therefore this is what the brand has moved into. There is a conscious choice to think about them and not about her. And so that's the journey of the brand over the last 30 years.
So we went from men as providers to being on the journey, to a 180-degree turn in terms of actually calling out men, saying you're not doing the work, to then saying how it's equal collaborators and that the chores for everyone. And if you see the last couple of comms which Susie played and whatever is even on air right now, it's always them being in the kitchen, but it's always the man doing the dishes, because that's the new age masculinity which a person should move towards, which is not toxic, but acceptance and being equal in everything. So that's us on Vim, and hope you liked it. Yeah. Thank you.